Welcome to New Possibilities. I speak truth to power without fear. So today I had a discussion on my Facebook page, on my personal Facebook page, not my New Possibilities page. And that discussion prompted me to do this particular video right here. And I just want to let you all know what I posted on my Facebook page. I'm not going to show the page because I don't want people trying to stalk me. You know, there are people that have found out my real name and they have tried to contact my, threatened to contact my employer and all that kind of stuff. So for that reason, I'm not going to show my Facebook page, but I will read from it so you will know exactly what the post was about and you'll get a full context of the discussion. But that discussion prompted me to do this video because my comment received a lot of replies. And, for my channel, it was a significant number of replies. Well, not my channel, my personal Facebook page. So I want to share this discussion with you. I'm not going to show what people said or anything like that, but I will give you a general gist of what the conversation was about. Before I do so, I want to shout out the people in the chat room. Shout out to my man, Hollow Ninja 10. Shout out to Dave Bowman. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, so Hollow Ninja wanted to know if I want to do multiple live streams. Yeah, I may do one right after this one. I want to talk about Hollywood. I want to talk about Black Panther being nominated for an Oscar. I want to talk about Spike Lee being nominated for an Oscar and a couple of other people being nominated for Oscars. I may do a separate live stream on that tonight, right after this one. But I had to talk about this situation involving Kamala Harris. She just announced that she was going to run for president for 2020. And I just want to share my thoughts. So on Facebook, I posted the following status. I said, the fact that Kamala Harris is married to a white man is a problem. There, I said it. You can't run black and marry white. So that was my announcement on my Facebook page, my status on Facebook. And I received quite a few comments. You had some people saying that I'm racist, that I'm being racist, that I'm prejudiced, that I'm bigoted. And you had a lot of people that were basically defending Kamala Harris. They are fans of hers. They want to vote for her. And they took a lot of issue with what I had to say about that. But I just want to outline some of the basic points and the basic reason why I made that point. But before I do so, I'm going to look at your comments again real quick, and then I'm going to get into it. Okay, so David Bowman said that he made a video about Kamala Harris, and he's not going to vote for her. And he says that she's going to lose by a landslide. So I'm going to have to check that out soon. Thanks, Brandon. You said nice suit. I just got off from work and I decided to just go straight into doing the video without, taking off my work stuff or whatever. So that's the only reason why I have on a suit. But I just want to go through this. So my biggest issue with Kamala Harris being married to this white guy is, it's because this woman has started her campaign off by playing up her racial identity. That's the only reason why I'm even discussing this. Of course, I always talk about issues of race. Of course, I talk about Black love and how we need to promote Black love. But I'm not one to just criticize somebody just for the sake of them being in an interracial relationship. It's always a bigger issue when I bring that up. And here you have a situation where this woman, Kamala Harris, is directly pandering to the Black community. She is playing up her racial identity. Playing it up. For instance, she made her announcement on Martin Luther King Day, a day when we celebrate one of the greatest figures in African American history and American history, period. Somebody who was a champion of civil rights. And you can't tell me that that's some kind of coincidence. That was calculated. That was calculated to appeal to a black community, to the black community, to the African American community. So you have that. And then right after she made her announcement on ABC's Good Morning America, she went to Howard University. I know that Howard University is her alma mater. That's where I went to school as well. You know, it's a great college and everything like that. But she went there for a reason, to send a message to the black community. So right after that, she made this, does this press conference at Howard University, a predominantly black university. So that's a subtle message there. She is playing up her racial identity in order to get black voters. Without a doubt, that's what it's all about. And then the next thing is this. She decided to locate one of her campaign offices here in Baltimore, Maryland. Baltimore is a predominantly black city. And as you all know, a couple of years ago, there were riots here because of the killing of Freddie Gray. There's been a lot of issues dealing with race and all that kind of stuff. So I don't think that it's a coincidence that this woman decided to have this campaign in Baltimore City, a predominantly black city. And also this woman, from what I understand, has worked with the AKAs to help her campaign and all that kind of stuff. So this is a woman who is subtly playing up her racial identity while trying to distance herself from it at the same time. You know, in the links in the description box to this video, you will see an article about how she described herself when she was asked about her racial identity. Like, despite this deliberate pandering to the black community, when directly asked about her identity, she talked about how she's a proud American. So she's trying to have it both ways. She's trying to pander to the black community while at the same time distancing herself from the black community, much like how Obama did. Like, he subtly played on the fact that he was the first African-American to win the nomination, or, you know, a promising African-American candidate who represented the hopes and dreams of black people while downplaying race at the same time. So you have that similar dynamic here. But you have this woman basically exploiting her racial identity to get black votes. Now, if it wasn't for that, nobody would care like what the race of her husband is. But it matters because here racial identity is being played up in a very subtle way, but an obvious way. I mean, you can't proclaim all this pride for your racial identity if you chose to marry a white man. By marrying a white man alone, you have made your position clear. You have made your allegiance clear. If you really identified with black people like that, if you really had all this love for black people, if you truly embraced black people, then why not be with a black man? I think that the fact that she is married to a white man speaks volumes. And what I'm going to do is share my screen right here so you can see this white man that she's married to. And it, again, you know, just so people won't get it misconstrued, I'm not saying that just because she's married to a white guy, I'm not voting for her. I'm simply saying that she's being disingenuous, playing up racial identity, playing up, you know, racial pride and all that kind of stuff, while at the same time, she don't really identify with black people like that. And we're going to get into it in a little bit more detail, because if she really identified with blackness, she would be with a black man. So let me go ahead and share my screen so that you can all see these images of her and her husband. I'm going to post a link to this article in the description box so that you could check it out for yourself. But here's the article that has, you know, 6 interesting things to know about her husband. And you see his image here. You know, there are multiple photographs of him with his wife, Kamala Harris, as you see here. So this becomes a big deal. It's like really hard to take somebody seriously that's trying to play up their black identity, but yet and still they're married to a white man. you know, trying to play up their ties to a black school like Howard University while married to a white man, trying to play up racial identity by making her announcement on Martin Luther King Day while she's married to this white man. You know, trying to play up her racial identity by having this campaign in Baltimore while she's married to this white man. So I just wanted to show you those images real quick. Again, there will be articles in the description box so that you all can check those out. Also, you know, I just have to bring up her racial identity. Now, of course, you all know my position when it comes to biracial people. I know that in this society, biracial people are defined as black, and I don't have any problem accepting biracial people as black who identify with blackness and who, you know, identify with black people and, you know, are concerned about the plight of black people. I'm not one of these extremists that say that you're not black if you're a biracial. So I don't take that position. But this woman is not African American. Like her father is a Jamaican, and her mother is an Indian. And as we know, many Jamaicans are quick to tell you that they are not African American. They do not identify as African American. They identify as Jamaican American. And then this woman, not only does she have a Jamaican father and an Indian mother, she was raised by an Indian woman, by her Indian mother. So she wasn't raised as an African American. That's just the bottom line. She wasn't raised like most African Americans are raised. You know, her father, both of her parents are immigrants. You know, her father is a Jamaican and her mother is an Indian. So this notion that somehow she embodies African American identity is ridiculous. But this is what the media will play up. This is what the campaign propaganda will be all about, her black identity. And I think that shows like, you know, a level of being disingenuous. You know, that's the problem. That is my whole concern about this whole thing. And I'm not saying that I'm definitely not voting for her. You know, as I said on my Facebook page, I need to learn more about her, learn more about her track record as a prosecutor and her track record as a U.S. Senator before I make a decision. And also I need to see who else is running for president before I decide whether or not I'm going to embrace her candidacy or not. But I do have some skepticism for her because of this disingenuous type of start that she's launched her campaign upon. You know, that raises various concerns to me. You know, somebody on my Facebook page, like they posted some little video that she did where she's talking about all this music that she likes and stuff like that. Again, like mentioning all these black songs to make it seem like she's so down with black people and stuff like that. My thing is campaigns have to be about authenticity, man, about somebody being real, not somebody being fake. And if somebody can be fake about something as simple as their racial identity and their racial allegiance and all that kind of stuff, what else are they fake about? What else are they lying about? A campaign should be based on the truth and about like how somebody genuinely feels, not about somebody posturing to get votes. So I just wanted to hop on here real quick and just share my concerns and share some of this discussion that I had on my Facebook page. And I just want to go back to this whole point about her and Barack Obama. You know, how both of them, in a way, they played up their race. You know, for instance, Obama played up race in a low-key way. And I have great respect for Obama, as you all know. If you are familiar with this channel, you know about the many videos that I've done talking about the great things that he has done for the black community. But I also know that Barack Obama, you know, to win over voters, to make white voters comfortable, he had to downplay race and often remain silent on very important racial issues in order to maintain his support among various white communities. And I think that that's problematic. And you have this situation where Kamala Harris is pandering to Black voters, low key, but then she's distancing herself from that Black identity by saying she's just a proud American and all that kind of stuff. And I just think that overall it's disingenuous to try to make it seem like you're down with African Americans and you're not even really an African American. So anyway, let me see what you all are saying before I close out. I'm sure there are going to be subsequent videos to this that I'm going to get into. So, you know, subsequent series of videos about Kamala Harris. So you all can look out for those. You know, after I do more research, there are several articles that I've posted on my personal Facebook page that I have to read to get more background information about her. So look out for more videos about her. Again, I haven't made a decision about whether or not I'm supporting her or not. So please don't come here saying, why are you not supporting this Black woman and blah, 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 because I haven't made that decision yet. If she were the nominee against Donald Trump, I would support her, period. Like, I would definitely support her over Donald Trump. I would support Mickey Mouse or Donald Duck over Donald Trump. Um, so yeah, I just wanted to air this out here on my YouTube channel. So let me see what you all are saying before I sign out. Just bear with me 1 second. I'm gonna have to take a brief break for a second. I had to check these text messages that I have, and I'll be right back with you. Just hold on for a couple of seconds. Sorry about that. I'm going to go to your comments before I sign out. I want to thank you all for tuning in. Yeah, so people who are talking about me having on this suit, I just got off from work and I didn't change my clothes. That's the only reason why I had a suit on. And most people know I'm a lawyer. So let me see what people are saying. I may go on to check out that Chris Brown story. I don't have much of the facts about that particular story to have an opinion, but I may do some research, and depending on what I find, I may talk about that. Shout out to Christina Edwards. Shout out to Brandon. Shout out to Queen Divine Love. Sister, shout out to Sister. Sister said that she's not getting my vote. She's not even for us. She's not even married to a black man. Shout out to True Royal family. So I'm really interested in True Royal's opinion about this because Kamala Harris is from California. You know, she represents California. So I would be very interested in what True Royal family has to say about Kamala Harris. Norman Edwards says Bernie Sanders is going to win the presidency in 2020. I don't know. It's possible. I don't even know if he's going to run. So I would really be interested in that because you have, what's her name, Edwards in the campaign. So I'm really interested in seeing how this whole thing shapes up. I'm going to have to do more research. I really want to be a part of one of these campaigns, you know, get actively involved in one of these presidential campaigns on a local level here in Baltimore, Maryland. And that's one of the things that trouble me. It's like I really want to embrace Kamala Harris's campaign. Like it would be so convenient for me since her office is here in Baltimore. But it's something about that pandering to black identity that rubs me the wrong way when she really doesn't even identify with black people like that. It just looks like obvious exploitation of black identity. And I just have an issue with that. Yeah, so let me just see what else you all are saying. Dave Bowman said, I got an email from her yesterday on MLK Day and I unsubscribed from her. I will never subscribe to her. I was never subscribed to her from the beginning. Yeah, and Queen Divine Love, that's a great point. That's something that I was talking about earlier in the stream. She said they asked her about the black vote and she ran from answering that question, diverting it back to all people. And that's the problem that I have with these people. A lot of these politicians, they low key want to identify with black people and the black experience and all that kind of stuff so that they can get votes. But then they don't want to openly embrace black identity. They don't want to openly embrace the plight of African Americans. You know, they want to have this large tent type of mentality. And I get it. You know, I understand that you can't win the presidency by focusing solely on African Americans who only make up around 13% of the US population. I get that. But you can't like push aside black concerns or marginalize black concerns either. You know, much like how, you know, despite Obama's great record of doing many great things in the black community, he constantly told the black community that he's not the president of black America. You know, he told the black community this through representatives and stuff. And I think that's problematic, especially given the fact that black people were the most loyal of his supporters. And basically, you're going to have a repeat of that with Kamala Harris, you know, if things go according to her plan, where you have all these black people supporting her, but yet when she's asked about her black identity, she says, well, I'm a proud American. When she's asked about what she's going to do, she's going to say, you know, just speak in generalities about what she's going to do for all Americans. And I think that that's the problem. Okay, True Royal said she's from Oaktown and we're not feeling her up here. Yeah, I want to find out more about like why y'all aren't feeling her. Like, is it for some of the reasons that I've talked about? And I'm just getting started. I mean, really, this is just the surface. And I'll just be upfront. Like, the mere fact that she's married to this white guy alone would not be a reason for me just to say to write her off completely. I still haven't written her off right now. I'm just saying that this is just rubbing me the wrong way. Confidence said, Black people, please don't fall for this shit again. Yeah, shout out to Ghost Rider. Norman Edwards said she's an Aunt Jemima. I don't know. I can't say that I can go that far yet. Like, I know that she has done some progressive things when it comes to the Black community. But I also know that as a prosecutor, obviously you're locking up a lot of Black people, and some Black people should be locked up for the crimes that they commit and all that kind of stuff, obviously. But I have to do much more research before I can decide definitively whether or not I support her. I have to see what her track record is as a prosecutor, what her track record is as a U.S. Senator. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that, MG. Like, her positions really should be the most important thing, not like this identity politics, the fact that she's a woman or the fact that she's a quote unquote African American. Those things are secondary to me. It's all about your positions on the issues and whether or not those positions benefit the Black community. That's at the core to me. Also, electability is a factor, but for me, it's not the most important factor. So Dave Bowman says she has a Jamaican father and an Indian mother. She's definitely not African American. And MG says she's trying to run game on the Black community. And I feel y'all on that, as you know, based on my commentary in this live stream. And Sister said a lot of Jamaicans don't even care for or even acknowledge African Americans. Now, that's the case for some. I'm going to be generous and say that some probably feel that way. There's some that don't even want their children to date or marry African Americans. There's some that view African Americans as lazy, as trifling, and all that kind of stuff, without a doubt. And the same is true for some African immigrants as well, unfortunately. So, I just think that it's odd that a lot of times you have these groups that actually benefit from our struggle. They benefit from all the legwork and all the labor that we put into making this country a better place. They benefit from the Black martyrs that died for civil rights, the people that were locked up for fighting for civil rights and all that kind of stuff. They benefit from our blood, sweat, and tears. But then after benefiting, they basically crap on the people that made it possible for them to enjoy the kind of lifestyle that they enjoy when they come to America. So you have a lot of people that have that kind of attitude, that don't respect African Americans, despite the fact that both groups of people are Black. Despite the fact that whether you're from Jamaica or you're from Baltimore, if you're a Black man, in the words of Peter Tosh, you're an African. Despite that common bond, common cultural connection or whatever, a lot of these people look down upon African Americans. And I think that that's problematic. It's problematic, especially if you want to exploit African American identity while you're not even technically an African American. Shout out to Psycho. Thanks for tuning in. Covina Man said she should stay with the multicultural and leave the Black identity to us Black people. So Brandon May asked if I'll ever be on O'Shea's channel again. Hold on one second. Yeah, I may go back on there. It depends on what they talk about. Like, I get emails from O'Shea's channel, like letting me know what the various topics are, depending on what they talk about. And if they have room for me on the panel, I'll be glad to, get back on one of these panels or whatever. I don't mind debating my ideas anywhere. But I'm not a big fan of huge panels, because it becomes like, too many talking heads, you know what I'm saying? Not enough time for real substantive discussion. So for the most part, I'm not a fan of those big platforms, where you got all these people on a panel. I'm really not feeling that, but depending on the subject matter, I may be back on, O'Shea's channel if they have me over there or whatever, debating my positions or whatever. So I'm not ruling it out. It's possible that I may be over there. If you're interested in having me over there, just reach out to him and let him know. Let the people over there know that you would like to see me on there, and we can see what we can work with. What I really want, I've heard that he's had what's her name, Cynthia G on there. I would love to debate her about politics or relationships or any type of issue. So that's the kind of debate I would like. I love to debate these Black Republicans about their support for Donald Trump. That's the kind of discussion I want to have. And I've had those discussions a couple of times with, some of the people on this panel, some of those Trump supporters. Yeah, so some people are saying they won't support her regardless. Oh, so Covina Man said that he's in California too, and she needs to stay being a senator. And we definitely need her as a senator. Like, I know that she tends to lean liberal and stuff like that, and that's a good thing as far as I'm concerned. And it's a shame that in the U.S. Senate, we only have 3 African-American senators. We do need a Black senator. You know, we do need as many Black senators as possible in the Senate. Otherwise our issues are completely ignored. If we're not at the table, we're on the menu, as you all have heard a million times. So it's important to have her at that table and stuff, making her voice heard. And I know that she's been a strong voice. Like, despite my criticism, she's been a strong voice at those various Senate hearings and stuff like that. It's important to have people like her speaking on our issues and stuff like that. But then again, I do have my reservations, as I expressed here. Okay, so. Oh yeah, so John Pro said Candace Owens announced that she's getting married on Twitter, and that I should see her husband. Yeah, I saw that another YouTuber, Chris Miller, did a video. I haven't watched this video yet, but he pointed out that she's engaged to this white guy or whatever. Um, really, I could care less about somebody like that being with a white guy. I mean, that's what I expect. Somebody that doesn't identify with the Black community. Um, that somebody that defends racism and attacks, groups like Black Lives Matter. I don't expect such a program fool to be with a Black man. I really don't. In fact, I would be surprised if someone like her would actually marry a Black man. It's those people that pretend like they're down and, pretend like they're so down with the Black community and the Black cause that marry white. Those are the people that trouble me the most. Just bear with me a second. So Covina Man said that he likes Cory Booker and Joe Biden, and that he would be cool with Elizabeth Warren also. Yeah, I like Elizabeth Warren's politics, her stance against Wall Street and stuff like that. I can respect that. So it's a lot of choices that we have to make, like during this election. And again, like I remind people the importance of voting. You know, if you are not registered to vote, you need to register today so that you can vote in the presidential election. And also, you can't complain about the injustice that we see in a lot of these verdicts involving police brutality if you're not registered to vote. Registering to vote is one of the ways that you could put on these juries that decide very important cases like these police brutality cases. And again, as I've said before, many of these local judges are elected officials, and you have the means and the power to decide who's going to be the local judges in your community. Yeah, so Blessed One says she doesn't understand. I can't see if it's a man or a woman, but Blessed One says, I don't understand how a lot of these people have no expectation of Trump having a black agenda. Yeah, it's just funny, man, because these same people that were pushing Obama hard, like they were talking all this stuff in social media and on these blogs about how you need a black agenda, these people don't have anything to say to Donald Trump. None of these people are demanding a black agenda of Donald Trump. You know, as many people have pointed out on social media, where is Tavis Smiley? Where is Cornel West right now? You know, they were featured on all these news programs criticizing Barack Obama and talking about a black agenda and the need to address poverty. But I haven't heard a word from these people now. You know, and I've seen a couple of interviews with Cornel West, but nowhere near the number of interviews that I saw when Obama was in office. Nowhere near the level of criticism that I saw when Obama was in the White House. And here you have a right-wing fanatic that doesn't give a damn about poverty, doesn't give a damn about black people at all, doesn't even pretend to care. And you don't hear a word from these people like like Cornel West and Tavis Smiley. Where are these people now? Yeah, I don't watch Nyla Says that much. Like the only reason why I even knew she existed is because of Cynthia G. Like, so I don't watch enough of her stuff to know what she posts about. I'm subscribed, but I don't watch her stuff. Um, I need to check out whatever video she has on Kamala Harris to see what she's saying about it. Um, but I just think that we need to, I don't think we need. I think we need to stay focused as well on defeating Donald Trump. You know, despite these issues that I'm raising about Kamala Harris, again, she would be a better candidate than Donald Trump. And we need to be focused on nominating somebody that can defeat Donald Trump, that will defeat Donald Trump. Because I don't know if this country will last much longer if Donald Trump remains president. Who knows what kind of Supreme Court we'll have if Donald Trump remains president for 4 more years. This man is already appointed, I think, yeah, 2 justices. And, from what I hear, Ruth Bader Ginsburg is, ill. She's going through different health issues. She's elderly. So it's possible that she may be replaced soon. The court is already leaning to the right now, with Kennedy leaving the court. This court is going to be more to the right. And then if he gets even more justices on that court, it can have a devastating impact on our civil rights and civil liberties in this country. So it is crucial that we find a candidate that's electable that can defeat Donald Trump. And I don't think that we should just blindly go into identity politics when we decide who should be the candidate to go against Donald Trump. Thanks, Covina, man, for your comment about my channel. I truly appreciate it. But yeah, so with that, I'm going to say peace and blessings to each and every one of you. I want to thank you all for tuning in to New Possibilities, to this channel, for supporting this channel. I truly appreciate your support. Please like the videos, share the videos, subscribe if you are not subscribed. Hit that notification bell so that you'll know when I post new content. Peace and blessings to each and every one of you.